Hello, good people. Welcome to our show. By the way, I don't want to discriminate bad people. Welcome to our show as well. Anyone who wanna learn more about partnerships, how you can grow your marketing campaigns, results to get sales, you need to listen or watch this episode until the end. I'm excited to discuss this topic with Matt Wool. How are you?
I'm doing well. Great to be here.
Yeah, it's a big pleasure. I found your profile on LinkedIn. You have extended experience. Before we start, just tell more about your experience, background, and why you decided to share with us about partnerships.
Yep, absolutely. So I'm the CEO of Acceleration Partners. We are the largest partnership marketing agency in the world. So we focus on affiliate marketing and performance-based influencer marketing for lots of brands. Everything from smaller growth stage companies all the way up to Target and Home Depot, Marriott. We operate globally, so we've got folks in the U.S., Europe, Australia, Singapore, Mexico, et
Mhm.
cetera, et cetera. So I've been in this space for over 10 years, and it's evolved a lot, and I think has really become a pretty interesting marketing area that a lot more companies are getting involved in.
Nice. It's interesting that I get a bunch of emails every single day about partnership. Most of them are templates, nothing
Mhm.
special without any value. Can you tell how to find the right partnerships, or to build this cooperation? Because in most cases, we get just templates. I don't believe
Mhm.
them. I distrust. I wanna skip them, move to spam filter because, yeah, what kind of value can I get from that? How to find the right way who can accept my partnerships if I have some interesting proposition to personalize this message and go ahead with that.
Yeah, so it's a problem, but I think what I would say is that if you really want to build a true partnership, you have to be able to show something of value, right? Because the point of a partnership is that it's a win-win arrangement, right? But
Yeah.
each partner is getting something of value, and too often affiliate programs or partnership programs, they'll just send something out and they're actually really not articulating the value in any way. And a lot of times it's because the company that's sending it out may not actually have something super valuable to share, right? And they're not
Mhm.
thinking about it in a win-win way. So our approach has always been really taking the time and investing the resources to be very articulate around the messaging, be really clear about why there's a positive value proposition for a partner, and also to take the time to actually build the relationship, right? um, Partnerships are about relationships, but a lot of times companies kind of forget that, and they try to just go really automated or one to many. And while that may work in certain places, ultimately to have really valuable partnerships, you have to actually build a relationship. And sometimes that means getting on the phone with someone versus a template email. Sometimes that means using multiple types of communication. Sometimes that means customizing communication, which can take time and energy, but it yields better results in our opinion.
Mhm. Can you tell more about building relationships? I understand today, if you want to grow, you need to build these relationships. But
Mhm.
how to do this, the first step? Because
Mhm.
in most cases, we get a lot of spam, everywhere on
Yep.
LinkedIn, on email, everywhere.
Yep.
And I have the habit to move everything to spam if I can't get attention from 1 2 seconds. I just have a few seconds to check it out. If I see it's template, I can, by the way, I can feel it. It smells like template. Can you tell more about personalization and building real relationships?
Yeah, I think what it comes down to is really starting with quality over quantity, right? So
Hmm.
if you are trying to build the initial relationship, you're going to be much better off taking the time to identify people or other companies, partners that you believe will be a good fit as a partner. Take the time to understand who they are, what their business is, and then go through that process of personalization. Whether it's maybe it's sending an email as well as a LinkedIn note, as well as a piece of actual mail to their address, right? Things that we don't do anymore. But to your point, because that initial template email is going to get thrown out, right? Anything that you can do to show that you actually took the time to understand who they are and why you believe they're a good fit, that's going to go a long way. But ultimately, in order to do that, you have to say, I'm probably not going to be able to send out 1,000 of these. I may be able to send out 10 or 20 or 50 of them, but because they're higher quality, I think I'm going to get a higher yield and a higher return and actually build those relationships. So if you start there, to me, that's the best place to go. So many companies make the mistake of starting with quantity versus quality. I personally tell clients, like, I would much rather you have 10 really good partners than 100 mediocre partners, and put the time and energy into finding and harvesting those 10. And so I think if you do that, then you can start to get around some of these problems.
I think sometimes it's better to have one partner who
Exactly.
can help than
We have a lot of
others.
clients who have built their business by finding one really good partner, right? And then later
Yeah.
they can build it out. But if you're I try to find that one and don't worry about the 1,000 others.
Tell more about your customers. For example, they reach out to you and tell, I need to find the right partnership. Please help me with that because I have some problems that I can't decide. Because, in most cases, for example, I think companies are looking for getting sales to get and pay for, I don't know, for any services or other things. Can you tell more about this thing? That means you don't need to pay, you need to share some benefits that you can bring to others, how to divide these benefits. Because, for example, if we are going to divide our revenue, so we need to find the right ratio. Can you tell more about that, about the
Yeah.
process?
So our clients come to us through a variety of ways, but most of them come to us through either demand generation marketing on our part, where we are putting out really good content that is speaking to their aspirations and pain points, right? Uh, it comes through that, or it comes through referrals or kind of our ecosystem, right? So those are both ways that we get most of our clients coming to us. A lot of them are either running partnership programs on their own or with another agency, and they're not getting that return that you're talking about, right? So our first step that we always go through is we do an audit, essentially, of their program. We review their strategy, we review their existing partners, and we build a model that says, if you move your program to us, and here are the attendant costs, we believe that the outcome over the course of 6 to 12 months will be X, right? And a lot of the time, that X is a much better return than they're getting now, because we're able to bring in new partners that we have a relationship with as an agency. We're able to gain scale with existing partners, and we're able to optimize in ways that they're not able to with the more limited resources internally. And so based on that model, then people can say, okay, that return makes sense. Generally speaking, our clients tell us that the return on ad spend they get from their partnership programs, affiliate in particular, usually is the highest of any of their paid channels. So it's generally a better return than they get on paid search or programmatic or social or anything else.
How to differentiate partnerships from affiliate marketing?
Yep.
Because, for example, more
Yeah.
about that.
So we see partnerships as the umbrella, right? And then affiliate marketing is a type of partnership. Influencer marketing is a type of partnership. There can be other types of partnerships as well. So we see it as an umbrella term that covers a lot of different things. Essentially, for us, the kind of partnerships that we're talking about are partnerships that can be tracked and are generally paid on some kind of performance basis. And that where there's a transparency, right? Where both partners understand what's going on, they're able to see how they're doing, and there's an actual relationship. So it's not a black box on either side of that relationship. So when we're talking about partnership marketing, that's what we're talking about. But obviously, affiliate is one flavor, influencer can be another flavor.
Do you help to unite two partners, or you take part in the process, for example, to cooperate in the long run? Because it's interesting. For example, I can imagine that I have partnerships with some companies or I don't know, web developers, anyone. Yeah, and do you continue the process helping them to build these relationships, to connect with each others, or you just help to find them
Yeah,
each
so
other?
we do all of it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
most of our clients, right, one of the biggest things that they want to do is find new partners. So we do a lot of work on helping them find and source new partners. But to your point, to open the show, right, there's a difference between finding them and getting them to join your program and become an active partner, right? So there's a lot of work that goes into onboarding and what we call activation, right, getting them to actually do something. And then we also are working to help develop campaigns, execute those campaigns, analytics, fraud monitoring, which is a real thing
Mm-hmm.
for clients, right? Reporting, all the operational stuff on the other side. So it really runs the gamut. But you can't have a strong partnership program without at least at some level going out and trying to find new partners along the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have the question, by the way, very tricky question. Please conclude that either partnership or affiliate is the best. It's like, to ask SEO is better than social media or content marketing.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
there's no answer to that question. But as I was kind of saying before, like affiliate is a kind of partnership, so they're not two different things. But most of our clients are looking to do all of these. They're trying to do multiple different kinds of partnerships, especially affiliate and influencer. So yeah, I don't think it's a matter of best. It just you need different tools in your toolbox, and it also will depend on your business.
Yeah. I found your book. It's called Why Partnerships Are the Future of Marketing. Can you
Yes.
tell about the title of this book? Why you think
Yeah.
it's the future?
Yeah, so we see it as the future because the trend over the last several years has been that uh, paid traffic, especially through Google and through Facebook, has the prices have gone up dramatically. Right, every quarter you see that Facebook's average prices have gone up, Google CPCs have gone up X percentage, and over the last number of years, what we've seen is that companies their margins have really started to erode because their cost of acquisition through those channels have increased dramatically. Um, the analogy that we like to make to people is you would never take your 401k, right, your retirement portfolio, and invest it in just one or two stocks. So why are you investing your entire company's paid budget into just one or two channels where you're frankly at their mercy because they're setting the prices? So we're not advocating that people stop buying Facebook ads or stop buying Google ads, right? They're still very viable channels in a lot of different ways. But with partnership marketing, there's several big differences. You actually are the one generally who gets to determine the price you want to pay, right? If you set up a partnership program, you can say to your affiliates, "Hey, we're paying 10% of a sale or $100 for a lead," right? You set that price, as opposed to Google or Facebook telling you what the price is going to be. Also, you're paying it on performance, so you're paying that out usually after you've gotten the lead, right, or after you've gotten the sale. And thirdly, you get to control what's happening in that channel, and you get to control the which partners you want to be working with. So there's a level of control there. So we see it as just diversification of marketing, and we see that even within partnerships, you can diversify further. If you have 100 partners, then you're diversifying across those 100 partners, right? If one of them is doing really well, another one's not doing well, it's just like your stock portfolio. It's gonna even out over time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we see it as the future because we see companies wanting to have more control over their budgets, wanting to have more outcome-based economics, right? Where they're paying when they actually get what they want, and being able to spread their eggs into multiple baskets. So, from that perspective, it seems like a no-brainer to us.
Yeah, valuable, interesting. Can you tell types of partnership that you can help, to find others? For example, I mean, like, I think partnership is a broad term. We have many different meanings. Can you divide them by sections? What kind of partnerships you can build with others?
Yeah, so I guess I'll give a few high level ones, right? So one
Mm-hmm.
type of partnership, especially for smaller companies, tends to be what we call brand to brand, right? So that's
Mm-hmm.
more of a business development relationship where you are partnering with another company that sells a not a competing good or service, but a complementary good or service, and you basically say like, hey, let's refer each other business, right? So that's one kind of partnership, and that can be tracked directly and paid directly.
Mm-hmm.
Other types can be, with publishers, and there are a lot of different kinds of publishers. It can be with, small content sites. Used to be called bloggers. I don't know what we call them anymore. But those kinds of sites, or it can be with large content sites. Wirecutter or BuzzFeed, right? They are affiliates in the partnership marketing ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
Or it can be, if you're an e-commerce company, for example, it can be with someone like Rakuten Loyalty, right? A giant loyalty site, or if you have coupons, it can be with a deal or voucher site, like Retail May Not. So it can be, there's a million flavors of those kinds of partners. And then on the influencer side, obviously, there's people who are promoting primarily via social media, and most of them, they do want to get paid upfront, but with the technology that exists now, even though you're paying them upfront, you can track the performance and understand, how much stuff got sold based on what they posted. So then you're able to make that connection, decide if you want to continue working with them and adjusting based on the performance. So, and obviously influencers, there's a wide range of influencers. There's nano influencers, micro, macro, Kim Kardashian. We don't work with the Kim Kardashian, but with a lot of the other ones. So it can really be any flavor. And the great thing about the channel, about partnerships, is that because it's almost infinite, right? So it really just depends on what your business is and what you're trying to accomplish.
Mm-hmm. I'm interested how to find the right partnership. For example, if I wanna cooperate with Kim Kardashian, probably I have no money. I need to sell everything that I have, just for one post on Instagram. All my properties, cars, wealth. But for example, I found that interesting partnership between Cristiano Ronaldo and Binance. For example, it's interesting because we don't know how much money they can get, earn. It's close deal, but we know about this partnership. Can you tell how to find partnerships or partner who is related with my audience? For example, I think Cristiano Ronaldo is playing football, but he's famous as a person. I think everyone knows him, just a human being. Kim Kardashian probably is on the same boat, but I think she, it's hard to cooperate with such celebrities that have huge audience. But in most cases, I need a partnership who, to cooperate this partnership when they are related with my audience. Can you tell how to
Yeah.
analyze that before
Yeah.
creating partnership?
So look, the easiest way to do it, right, and where most people start is uh, put yourself in the shoes of your customer, right? And search for things in Google that you think your customer is searching for, and see what's coming up that's not you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And try to map out that ecosystem and see, again, there are probably some things that are coming up that are direct competitors who are not going to be your partner, but there are probably a lot of other businesses that are coming up that are complementary, right? And could be partners. So a lot of companies just start that way. It's easy, it's free, it's just your time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the next level from there is there are tools that you can buy. We actually purchased a company earlier this year called Grovia.
Mm-hmm.
Grovia has a service and a technology, a SaaS product where you can they can help you, or you can directly use it to do searches for different kinds of partners, and then there's a whole kind of CRM system that allows you to reach out to them and track it. So that's kind of the next level. But honestly, I would say the first place to start is put yourself in the shoes of your customer and try to figure out who else is that customer interfacing with out there where it would make sense, where there's a win-win proposition between you and them. And like I said earlier, it may be that there's only a couple and you start with those, right? Find that one high quality one to begin, and then over time you can grow from there. But it's pretty do-it-yourself from that standpoint. You don't need very expensive technology to do it.
Yeah, got it. Valuable. I'm interested about control. For example, if I set up some marketing campaigns, I can analyze what kind of results can I get. Some campaigns don't work. That's okay, because we can find something else, to analyze them, to set up the message or change something, in our campaigns as well. Can you tell about partnership? How I can analyze that partnership is good, and can I quit this partnership if I feel that it's not related with my goals and it's better to go to find someone else?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing to understand is that all the partnership programs that we set up, and we would advocate that any partnership program utilizes some kind of partnership marketing technology, right, to power it. So there are companies out there like Impact or Share a Sale or CJ, right, that their whole business is technology that allows you to connect and then track and pay partnerships, right? And then also to have data around it to do the analysis. So the first thing is, having one of those technologies, selecting the right one, getting it set up appropriately. Once you have that set up, every transaction or every referral, whatever it is, right, is going to be tracked in that, and you will have those analytics. So then it becomes a matter of, just like any channel, right, sitting down and saying, okay, what is a good return for me? And how do I want to be thinking about that? If you are working with a lot of partners that are just putting out, coupons for your product, right, and just 10% off coupons, you may say, look, I need to get a 20-to-1 return on ad spend in order for this to be valuable, right? But if you're working with a really high quality partner that's doing a lot of education and introducing new customers to you, and doing a lot of that front end work, you may say, I'm happy with a 2-to-1, right? But you have to understand your own business economics, right, in order to make that determination. But all the data will be there in that system. In terms of can you quit it, right? Short answer is yes, right? If you have set this up via an affiliate program or something like that, then usually there's a pretty simple opt-out mechanism, right? You develop kind of basic terms and conditions, and each partner signs up and says, yes, we're going to do this. And in order to quit, we just have to, send a 7-day notice, or maybe a lot of programs you can just quit immediately. And if it's your program, right, if you're the advertiser with the partner that has the program, you can set the rules however you want, right? You can kick people out however you want. If you're doing a more direct relationship, right, with Ronaldo or something, you'll probably have to sign some kind of contract, and so you just want to make sure that the contract has whatever the terms are that you want, so that you're able to get out if certain triggers aren't hit, or whatever it is.
And do you help to create this contract, to check it out, to analyze that it's good or not?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you can find pretty basic. All these technology platforms, they have pretty basic, contracts. They come by different names. Sometimes they're called terms and conditions. Sometimes they're called insertion orders. Sometimes they're called contracts. But they're basically the same thing. It's essentially, here are the rules for the program, and then if someone's not following the rules, then you're able to remove them. But most of them also just say, if I want to remove you, you can be removed.
Yeah, you remind me the movie. If I wanna you are dead, you will be dead.
Exactly.
Yeah, interesting about that. Can you tell how businesses can know that it's time to find partnership? Because for example, I know some companies that are looking for new ways to grow, and they tried many marketing campaigns, direct sales, anything. Can you tell how do you know that it's time to search for partnership to grow on this direction?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I think the first part of it is, what bandwidth do you have, right? I alluded to it before, but like, to do these things right and to find the good partners, it does take time and energy. I think one of the fallacies about especially affiliate programs is you can create very good affiliate program money just by sending out form templates, which as you stated, doesn't work very well. So So a big part of it is, do you have the bandwidth to effectively uh, start and manage a program? If the answer is
Mhm.
no, then you're probably not ready for it, right?
Mhm.
I think the rule of thumb for us is that as companies start to get towards the, $5-10 million revenue mark, that if they don't have one of these programs, then they are probably missing growth opportunities, and that's probably a good time to start. A lot of companies who are smaller than that certainly have them, but again, that's because they've identified it as a place where they want to make that investment. But I can't tell you, if you're a $1 million, 3-person company, whether partnerships is the right investment or paid search is the right investment. That's something I can't say kind of, from sitting here. But what I can tell you is that these programs, partnership programs, don't happen overnight, right? Because they are
Mhm.
relationships. You have to bring on the partner, you have to get them set up, they have to start promoting, you have to get the customers in the funnel. So they tend to scale up pretty gradually, 6 to 12 months. And especially if you're only trying to find a couple of high quality partners, like, it's going to take time for that to happen. So
Mhm.
I think another big part of it to determine if you're ready is, like, are you in a place in your business where you're able to spend 6 to 12 months investing in a channel that in the future, should yield a lot of value, but is going to be, potentially in the red right in the near term.
It's faster than SEO. SEO takes a few years. If you want to get
Yeah,
high
I mean, it's
results.
probably between, yeah, it's between paid social and SEO, probably, in
Yeah.
terms of the timing.
Yeah, agree. Paid marketing works well, but
Yeah.
it costs a lot as well. So yeah,
And
it
that's
takes
why
time.
we're not advocating for abandoning it, right? It's a lever you can pull, and it can move volume quickly, and
Mhm.
we would never say, like, don't do that. We're just saying, balance it out with other stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. I often get the question. I'm looking for ways to quit my pay-per-click campaigns because we want to get SEO traffic, and I ask them why you need to quit it. If it sells, if it brings results, you don't need to quit it. Just use two channels. SEO and
Exactly.
pay-per-click. You can find for other channels as well. Okay, I have the question about how to learn about partnership. For example, if you started today from scratch without any experience, skills, what will you do to learn more about this direction if someone wanna jump on this field?
Yeah. So there's some books you can certainly read. Myself and the founder of our company have a couple books. One is called Performance Partnerships, which was a few years ago. The second one is called Outcomes, moving to the outcome-based marketing, which you talked about before. Both of those give kind of a good overview of how everything works. I think more tactically, there's a guy named Gino Prusakov who's written several kind of how-to books around affiliate marketing, and those are quite good in terms of understanding, like, the nitty gritty. On our website, accelerationpartners.com, we actually have a course, an affiliate 101 course that you can take, and you can start there. And there's lots of
Mhm.
other content. And then Impact, which is one of the technology companies I mentioned earlier, they have courses as well, and they've set up a whole part of their business, which is around educating people in partnership. So there's a lot of resources out there that you can take advantage of around this, for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, love it, love it. For example, I want to share from my experience. If
Mhm.
I have clients who understand SEO or organic reach, I can provide much higher results with them because they understand what we want to do. And it's the same, I don't know, if someone is going to lose weight or learn, I don't know, probably French, any other languages, it's better to understand why you are doing this. What is your final goal? But when people don't understand and think that mentors or coaches can help them, to decide all their problems, it doesn't work like this. That's why I usually tell my clients to learn a little bit about SEO, to spend a few days to read articles, tutorials, anything. Can you tell, for example, if someone wanna jump on partnership, they need to understand the basic. You shared about deep level. I mean, like to learn a lot, to take courses. For example, if I have only a few days, what I need to do to understand how it works and why it's suitable with my goals.
Yeah, so I would start with our 101 class on our. I mean, I call it a class. It's an hour,
Mm-hmm.
and there's lots of content there. Those are really good places to start. So I would start there. But the reality is, look, much like SEO, you can understand the top level, but there is a lot of nuance and stuff that goes on,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I would argue that yes, people should understand the top level, but if this is something they really want to get into for their business, that they should be getting further into it and really understanding more of the details. One of the real issues that comes up, and to your point, like where you can't have a consultant just tell you what to do, right, is with attribution.
Mm-hmm.
If you're running multiple channels, like you were talking before, if you're doing SEO and you're running paid search and you have Facebook and you have partnerships, um, because partnerships get paid out after the transaction, they often look like they are the lowest in the attribution, funnel.
Mm-hmm.
And so then a lot of people start to say, well, so why am I doing it, right? But then if they remove those partnerships, they end up losing sales, which indicates that they're not the lowest in the attribution ranking.
Mm-hmm.
So if people don't understand attribution and kind of how their marketing stack is built and how partnership is going to interact with that, it can cause trouble. And I'm sure you've had this conversation with some of your clients. Like, no one can tell you how to do attribution. Like, you have to decide like what is valuable, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
understanding that is the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, valuable. I have the question about common mistakes that companies
Yep.
can do with partnership. Can you share three common mistakes that it's better to avoid?
Yeah. So one common mistake is something that you started with, right? It's just blasting out crappy forum emails. Like, you're not going to get a lot of traction that way. And the partners that you get that way are probably not the partners that you want, right? So that's number one. Number two is just not, as I kind of already alluded to this, but not being willing to invest the resources and time that is actually necessary to do it. Much like you can't build a valuable relationship with a family member if you're only giving them a minute a month, right? You can't build valuable relationships with partners, in business if you're only giving them a minute a month. So you have to, be willing to put in the time to nurture those relationships and handle them appropriately, or else they're not going to yield value. And then I think the third is setting it and forgetting it, right? A lot of people, companies, they will bring in partners, they will focus on the acquisition of partners, they will not focus on the maintaining the relationship and feeding the relationship, right? If you
Mm-hmm.
only focus on acquisition of partners, you will have this constant treadmill of stuff and your program won't actually grow. So you got to focus on both of those things and making sure that you're actually, maintaining the relationships once they're in the program.
Mm-hmm. I have the question that you can reply. It depends, but I want to
Totally will.
ask. Yeah. For example, if I send some outreach emails in SEO field, for example, I want to get some links or mentions, I usually get like 8% of response rate.
Mhm.
Not a lot. 92% are avoided, ignored. Can you tell how many emails or pitches do I need to send to partners? Of course, I understand that it's better to pay attention with quality than quantity. But anyway, I think many businesses or potential partners are busy people. They have no time to check out all these pitches. Can you tell the average data? How many pitches to do, or I don't know, to
Yeah,
send these emails?
it's a good question. To be perfectly honest, I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah, it
We'd
depends.
have, yeah, we'd have to look at the data. My gut tells me that if you're doing advanced work and, like you said, thinking about quality, I would imagine it's probably actually a similar response rate to SEO. I mean, you're kind of asking for a
Mm-hmm.
similar type of thing. So the 8% number that you just gave like feels reasonable to me, but I'll be honest, I don't know the answer to that off the top of my head. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, got it. Can you tell about tools? What kind of tools to use to send these emails, or any tools that can help with partnership?
Yeah, so I mentioned before, I think that the main tool are these technologies that that kind of underpin the programs that do the tracking and the payment and the reporting and all
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. So, again, Impact, Share a Sale, CJ, like Link Share. Sorry, not they're Rakuten now, not Link Share. Those are going to be the primary tools, and for a lot of companies, that's the only tool that they really use, right? Because all those companies have kind of different functionality built into them that allow companies to do a lot of this stuff. Then there are ancillary tools, as I mentioned. Grovia, which is part of our company, is one that allows for recruitment and identification of partners. There are others that are around compliance. So Brand Verity is one that a lot of people use for compliance, where you can see like are your partners bidding on your brand term or doing other stuff that's not allowed. There's a tool called Forensic, which is actually owned by Impact, where if you're doing more complicated lead generation or other kinds of things, Forensic can monitor for fraud and make sure that there's not a call center in the Philippines that keeps driving leads to get paid, or whatever it is. So there's a lot of tools, but to be perfectly honest, for most smaller businesses, I would just start with the platform, the basic platform, and pretty much everything you need is going to be in there.
Yeah, love it, love it. I have the question about technical aspect of finding the right partnership. Can you tell, for example, how to find the right partnership if I have 100 prospects, a lot of them, and how I can group them or segment or filter out someone that are not related with my niche or my products? Yeah, more about that.
I would think about it just like customer segmentation, right? Who do you see as kind of the high value, center of circle customer? Who do you see as kind of the next ring outside of that? And then who do you see as the next ring outside of that? That's how I would think about it. And I would say, okay, these 5 or 10 are the ones who I see as really center of circle for my value proposition. I'm going to spend a lot of time customizing the outreach and doing the research. The next ring outside of that, I'm gonna do somewhat less. Honestly, if someone is not at least in those first 2 rings, you have to ask yourself, like, why am I even reaching out to them? Because is that ultimately going to be a partnership that's going to yield any value? Especially given that I'm going to have to put some time and energy into it, right? So that's how I would think about it, kind of from a customer segmentation standpoint.
Yeah, interesting. I have the final question about your book about why partnerships are the future of marketing. Can you tell why partnerships are the future of business?
Yeah. So, I mean, part of it is what I said before, just in terms of businesses want to be able to control the economics and they want to be able to control the ecosystem. So that's a big part of it. I also think that a lot of the world is going in that direction, and primarily not primarily, but driven a lot because of the collapse of programmatic and display, right? So a lot of companies, publishers, and that used to make a lot of money on programmatic and display are making much less money on that, and so they are now moving into partnerships as a way to fill that void. So the supply side of the partnership marketing world has really exploded, right? And so now the demand side is catching up. So that's a big part of it. And then I think the last part of it is that one of the reasons that people stayed away from certain kinds of partnerships in the past was they didn't have transparency or effective tools or technology to really understand what was going on. There was a lot of fraud. There was a lot of bad stuff going on. Over the last few years, the industry for partnerships has totally changed, and it's now become much more, white hat, I guess, as we would say. And so now companies can say, well, I'm willing to put my dollars there because I don't have to worry about it, being lost to fraud or leaking to Russian bots or whatever it is, right? The industry a lot of the industry has completely transformed in terms of how it can manage itself. And so for all those reasons, I see it as the future of partnerships. Sorry, the future.
Nice, nice. I think transparency concerns any niches, marketing, sales, everywhere, because
Everything.
customers are clever than ever. It's hard to manipulate, to cheat them, and you don't need to do it. I don't recommend it. It's just mentioned about that. Yeah, you need to be transparent if you wanna go ahead. And I think all companies, businesses pay a lot attention to build true relationships with their customers. Matt, it's a big pleasure to get you on my show, to learn from you. You shared a lot of valuable insights. Tell our audience how they can reach out to you, learn more about you, follow you.
Yep. Accelerationpartners.com is the best place to go. I'm on LinkedIn. There's lots of information on both places, and happy to chat with anybody.
Okay, guys, you can find all these links in the description below. Listen us on Apple, Google, Spotify, and see you next time.